to reopen Chicago, but because of the looting, more than 200 businesses have been just demolished. I mean, looted. They're boarded up right now. All the restaurants that were preparing to have outdoor seating, that's on hold because some of the rioters took the outdoor seating and threw the chairs through the windows of the bars.
Did you see the caskets that were stolen? They invaded a funeral home on the south side.
And they stole caskets?
And was just snatching them outside.
We know at 54th, 4th, and Wentworth last night, people looted various stores and were helping themselves. There was a traffic jam getting into the parking lot. People were taking items off of trains while the train was moving. So these are unseen times, folks, and it's getting pretty scary.
And the guy that videotaped that, they can find out who he is. That's the big problem. Because the guy got in who was taking them off, got in his car.
President Trump responding because cities across this nation have been hit very hard.
My administration will stop mob violence. The memory of George Floyd is being dishonored by rioters, looters, and anarchists.
With that, let's welcome back to the program Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano, Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation and author of Wiki at War, Conflict in a Society, Networked World, and Private Sector, Public Wars. Good morning, Mr. Carafano. How are you?
Good. Hey, good to be with you guys.
Good morning.
Good. So over the weekend, President Trump designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. What exactly does that mean, and how is that going to work?
So I think that's different than what we do with foreign terrorist organizations. There's a specific law for designating a foreign terrorist organization, which is a determination made by the State Department, and then that allows the U.S. government to do certain sanctions and activities against them. Domestically, we name terrorist organizations. We've been doing that forever. If you remember the Weathermen, we call the Weathermen a terrorist organization. There's a environmental group we call a terrorist organization. There are right-wing militias that we say these are terrorist organizations. As far as I understand, kind of listening to what the administration says, that is essentially direction for the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. We have many dozens of these all over the country, basically saying, we think these guys are conducting terrorist activities. You should investigate them. Yeah. As far as I can tell, that's what the president's announcement.
Lieutenant Colonel, what do you think about the president withdrawing from WHO this past couple of days? And how will that affect the United States abroad?
Oh, the WHO.
Yes.
Look, I think our recommendation was if you want to pressure the World Health Organization to change, that would take longer than a short period of time. And the president gave them a very, very short deadline to respond, and they didn't. So he decided to pull out. That was kind of his choice. I mean, he's done this with other things where he puts a marker and says, if you guys don't do this, I'm going to pull out. He did it with the Iran deal. He did it with the Open Skies Treaty, the international. It creates a different set of circumstances for the United States. And where I take issue with people that say, well, the United States is just taking its ball and going home. It's not. We're still the world's largest donor for pandemic response. Mm-hmm. We coordinate with countries all over the world. Is it more difficult without the World Health Organization as kind of a clearinghouse? Yeah. Does it mean that it's impossible and we can't help people and we can't coordinate and we can't get vaccines out? No. But I think in defense of the president, I'll say the president says, look, if these organizations are not doing the right thing, I'm not going to participate. And I do think sometimes that stern line in the sand does get people's attention. So the point is we've crossed the river, and now we move on. Do I think we can still be a very effective role in global pandemic response? My answer is yes.
But now the left is criticizing him, though, because that's what they do, but because he's doing it during a pandemic, that maybe he should wait till after this is over.
Well, I mean, the reality is only about 15% of the World Health Organization's budget went to pandemic response. They do all kinds of things, which actually are kind of really the purview of individual states. We don't really need global health organization to coordinate traffic safety, for example, or abortion policy. So we've actually seen the United States conduct a very coordinated global response. The fight that the World Health Organization was actually obfuscating that in the way it was kowtowing to China. So no, I don't really buy that as legitimate.
Okay, I wanted to go back to the riots. 4,000 people arrested nationwide. It looks like 1 out of every 4 arrested in New York City are out-of-staters. Some ISIS members, according to their police superintendent, and a lot of Antifa Who is sponsoring these people to travel? Because we just had our former superintendent on who said in Wilmington, Delaware, people got arrested who live in the state of Washington. So this clearly was a planned attack on American businesses.
It was.
Yeah, so I'm an analyst, and so I have to analyze the facts that I have, and everything that we have kind of publicly now is very anecdotal. But I will say this, and this I think is what is important about the President's declaration and the Attorney General's implementation of that, which is if there's a conspiracy going on now, you cannot find it if you don't go look for it. Okay. So now that you actually have law enforcement out looking for are people conducting essentially RICO-type activities. In other words, are they orchestrating organized violence? That would fall under the RICO clause. This is where it's a crime to organize people to do a crime. Okay, we use this against the mafia, for example. Well, if people are doing that, whether they are Antifa or any other organization, now the FBI and federal, state, and local law enforcement are essentially go look for that. And if they find it, they should prosecute it. And I think we'll have to wait and see what the actual intelligence brings us.
All right. I want to go back to President Trump at the White House. He and his family was rushed under the White House into a bunker. Can you give us any more information on that?
Well, typically what happens, unlike in the movies, is the Secret Service makes these public safety calls for the president and the White House staff. And typically presidents do what the Secret Service tells them. So and oftentimes the Secret Service will act out of an overabundance of caution. And so if the Secret Service thought that it was a potential that the White House perimeter would be breached, then that is kind of the standard response, which is to get the president to a safe place. So I think that's if the Secret Service made that call. That's what we kind of paid him for.
All right. Thanks so much, Jim Garafano. We appreciate Lieutenant Colonel, James Garafano. Always a pleasure.
I'm retired.
Having you
Who cares?
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank you.
much. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Robert Anderson, president of McLaughlin Body Company in the Quad Cities, and a customer of Signature Bank. When our 100-year-old family-owned manufacturing company was looking for a new bank, we found an excellent partner with Signature Bank. Signature Bank understands the challenges with manufacturing in today's highly competitive environment. We recently participated in the New Markets Tax Credit Program and were fortunate to have the experts at Signature Bank help us navigate the complexities of this program. With Signature Bank's support, we were able to expand not only our facility, but ultimately our business. If you're looking for a trusted banking partner for your business, look to Chicago's own Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Is the coronavirus at your facility? That's the question customers and employees are asking. And if you think it might be, then you need to contact Chicagoland Mold Doctors. They use EPA registered and certified disinfectant approved for killing coronaviruses and 130 other organisms. This is the answer for doing everything you can do, and the time to do it is right now. Chicagoland Mold Doctors has been doing disinfecting for almost a decade, and they use hospital and surgical grade disinfectant.